What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to be checking out the album The Weight That Holds Me Here by the band IMMERSE. IMMERSE is a melodic hardcore band from the UK. They started about 2018, and The Weight That Holds Me Here is their second studio album. I believe that the album name actually carries a lot of weight to it in terms of what this album is about. It's about a lot of anger and healing and a lot of just ties to different things that need to be cut off. And this album, like I said, it just holds a lot of weight to it, not even just in the lyrical content, but musically as well. The opening song, Vile, starts out with this really gritty guitar riff and drums that are kind of slow, and there's like this melodic synth stuff in the background giving it a little bit of ambiance. And the vocals, which aren't really as gritty as you would expect, they're a little bit more polished, but they go from being heavily distorted and screaming to clean and sometimes almost kind of like talking. And there's a lot of openness in this song too, specifically in like the breakdown, which gets pretty heavy. But then what gets even heavier is at the very end, they bring back, of course, the main riff, and it just becomes so nasty. And the song is just a progression of heaviness, and it's got a lot of aggression in it. The second, and probably my favorite song on the album, Burn, has a different approach to it in terms of production. The vocals have a little bit more of like a raw feel to them, and then the guitar riff, which is still just as aggressive, is a little bit more polished. It's not quite as gritty sounding, and it's almost the same kind of riff, just a little bit different. But this time the chorus is kind of like the eye of the storm in this song. It's like all the action happens in the verses, and then all of a sudden you get to the chorus and you get a second to breathe. And the lyrics, which aren't like really that crazy deep or anything like that, they still hit extremely hard. And then once you get to the bridge, it's like the climax, and God, it is such a beautiful climax in this song. Then you have songs that pull back on the reins a little bit in terms of aggression, like the song With You, which is a little bit more ambient. It has a clean guitar, which we haven't heard yet. It has clean vocals, at least in the first half of the song. As the song builds, they become distorted. And I believe the song is about the narrator or the singer who is telling someone who is there for them throughout like a really difficult time. He's letting them know how much they really helped them, even though like they might know, but he's just expressing his thankfulness to them. And as the song builds up and the aggression starts to come out and the passion starts to come in, then it's kind of like the tables have turned, and now the narrator is telling this person that, hey, I'm always there for you, and he's encouraging them. And it's a pretty cool turnaround, what I'm not really used to seeing in music like this. Normally it's just like, this person helped me out so much, thank you, or just a straight up encouragement. It's almost like a conversation's happening between these people, or you can really sense that the narrator you could sense that they were in a difficult time, and now maybe that other person's in a difficult time, and they have so much passion in trying to help them, and you really feel that in this song. Then you have the song Southbound, which brings back distorted vocals in the verses, but they sit a little bit behind the mix, at least at first. Eventually they end up pushing their way further and further out into the front. The chorus caught me off guard because it's kind of like a catchy pop punk chorus. I think this is a song about like depression and like trying to find yourself and dealing with just discouragement. It's a little repetitive, but it doesn't really, like, the choruses are a little bit repetitive, but the fact that the verses have a more hardcore feel to them and it's mixed in with pop punk, it kind of gives it a lot more variety, so you don't really get tired of either one, like, at all. Then you have a couple songs thrown in there, like More, Autumn, and Monsoul. I believe that's how that's pronounced. More starts out with like this organ thing that transitions into a clean guitar passage with some vocals. It's about, I think, maybe 2 minutes long, give or take. And this is like the kind of pop punk thing that I don't like, where it's just a little bit too melodramatic. Autumn and Monsoul are strictly just interludes. Autumn's just kind of there. Monsoul has this really weird clean guitar passage thing that sounds like it's uplifting, but at the same time it's kind of like haunting in a way. I don't know, like, normally I don't like interludes and I don't like little tiny segments of whatever thrown throughout there. It kind of feels like a waste of time to me. Like, let's get to the actual songs instead of just throwing in these little speed bumps here and there. But in this case, they actually fit the mood of the album really well. And Autumn flows right into the song Red Shade really well, which has this really just sick nasty guitar riff is so dynamic. Even though I said that Burn might be my favorite song on the album, the guitar riff from Red Shade is just absolutely freaking phenomenal. It's the kind of thing that I try to create whenever I play guitar. And the chorus has this really just effortless hook thrown in there. And I believe that the song is about how we just don't have empathy for each other anymore. It was kind of hard to find lyrics on these songs, so I'm probably wrong on almost all of the meanings. And the breakdown has like this kind of creepy thing to it. It's very haunting, kind of like Monsool in a way, but instead of having a clean guitar, it's just a nasty breakdown. And the last chorus, or the second to last chorus, is clean, which it kind of caught me off guard a little bit, and it adds to, I don't want to say melodramaticness of this song, but it adds to the emotion to it, where the song is just all out aggression, and then you get right after the breakdown and the chorus comes in, it's just clean. And it sounds so beautiful. Like, I mean, it's glassy clean. And then it gets all heavy again for the last chorus, and it's just a sick song. Then you have songs that are a little bit more personal, like the song Paralyze, which it kind of sounds like he's dealing with depression or anxiety, like he's paralyzed in a state he can't really move, he's afraid to go anywhere kind of thing, or not really feeling like going anywhere. It's more vocal and drum driven in the verses until about like halfway through when the guitar riff joins in and it's kind of playing off of the rhythm with the vocals. And the second verse holds you in suspense while there's a little bit of a break between it and the chorus. You're just kind of waiting for like a breakdown, but then it comes in and it hits pretty hard. And while this song isn't as musically or vocally impactful, I would say that just how vulnerable it is and how open it is personally is what makes it hit that much harder. It makes it just as good as all the other songs. And then right after it, you have the song Lights, which is like the slow, ambient, echoey voice kind of song that we're used to hearing in pop punk music. It's like just the slow, sappy love song. But normally I hate songs like this. I feel like they're just, it's kind of like having an interlude. It's just kind of there because it's expected to be there. It's just very cliche. But in this case, it doesn't feel forced at all. Like the emotion of the song fits in with the album. It fits in with the progression and the story of the album. And it works really well. Even when the song becomes a little bit more rockier, it doesn't really become cheesy like you would expect. Now that we've had some time to explore different pop punk stuff and we've done more ambient things and we've had our slow song, the song 2319 brings us back around to the original aggression and just absolute nastiness that the first two songs, Vile and Burn, had. And this one just really brings the energy back in a way that most albums have a really hard time doing. The vocals are more on the edge and a little bit more pushed, and they're honestly just a lot louder than before. The guitar in the post-chorus is just absolutely nuts. It's probably the least diverse song on this album, but just the way how it brings it back around again, it really fits in well and it sounds so good. The closing song on the album, Here's Hope, is about someone who I believe is like a victim, or they're playing a victim, and it's kind of like what goes around comes around kind of thing. Like they're actually just a really bad person and they're playing a victim to try and get away with whatever it is that they're doing. And the vocals in this song are actually pretty nasty, which I wasn't expecting. This album continually caught me off guard in terms of vocal and music and the aggression and the more chill moments of this album. And while this song does have a little bit of hostility towards this person who is playing the victim, at the same time in the chorus it carries a little bit of empathy, which again I'm not really used to hearing. Normally it's like, you suck and you're a horrible person, I hope you die. But then it's kind of like relating to them in a sense, like, man, I know what you're going through, I've been there, and you know, hopefully you make it out. Like, I'm not going to be your friend anymore, but best of luck to you. Like, seriously, I hope you get over this. And it's an absolutely amazing closing song. It just wasn't really what I was expecting. The Weight That Holds Me Here is a very interesting, diverse album. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of hardcore, a lot of cool little melodies being thrown out, some ambient things and synth stuff, and they do a great job at mixing all this in. Like when you listen to, I know it's like beating a dead horse, man. When you listen to Architects and you hear all the ambient noises, it is overkill. It's just after like the third song, you're like, oh my god, are they going to do this throughout like this entire 14 song album? The answer is yes, they are. But the thing is that it's just so overpowering. And in The Weight That Holds Me Here, there isn't really anything that's overpowering in awkward moments when the distorted guitars and the drums and the vocals need to come in and you need to feel that very strong passion and aggression. The ambient tones are still there, but it's not overpowering it, and it's not trying to take the emotion away from it. And then again, when you need to feel more of a sensitive emotion, like in the song Paralyze or in the song Lights, it adds to it, while at the same time the guitars and drums are still there, but now they're taking a back seat and now they are playing kind of second fiddle to the ambient and synth sounds. And it, like I said, they just do a really great job at mixing this all in. This album isn't at all what I was expecting. I just kind of stumbled across these guys on Spotify. I gave a couple songs a listen. I was like, man, I want to talk about this. So even though I just talked this album up quite a bit, it does have some faults to it. For instance, even though they do a good job at mixing all these different genres in together and there isn't really one that overpowers the other, if you're really into hardcore music, you might have a hard time making it past the first 3 songs. If you're really into pop punk, you might turn it off after the first 2 songs. So, and it's not to say that they're not doing a bad job at mixing the two. It's just if you're not really into metal or hardcore or screaming at all, this might not be an album that you listen to all the way through. And if you're not really into pop punk, this might not be an album you listen to all the way through. Like the first 3 songs have more of a hardcore element, and then it slowly becomes pop punk, and it has its slow songs, and then it circles back around again to become more hardcore, but softer moments here and there. And like it's not like they don't have a clear direction, and it's not like this album is just kind of random. It's just they mix all these different genres into their music, and because of that, it's going to have a harder time at reaching a vast audience, while at the same time reaching, like I said, it's just a minor flaw. It's nothing really that big. So with all that said, I got to give The Weight That Holds Me Here by IMMERSE a 7.6 out of 10. And I doubt that anybody else who watches this has probably even heard of these guys, so go ahead and give a couple of these songs a listen, at least maybe my favorite songs, and maybe the ones that I mentioned that had like pop punk elements to them, and go ahead and let me know what you think and what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, please don't forget to give it a like. If you have anything you want me to review, new, old, album, EP, whatever, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what it is. We'll throw it up on the whiteboard and we will get you squared away. And if you do that, or you just happen to like what you see here, please don't forget to subscribe and ring the little bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any future reviews or a requested review. And you just help my channel, help support me, make me feel good about myself, and then you don't have to go looking for any of my videos or anything like that. And it's a win-win for both of us. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. Please stay safe, and I will talk to you next time.
I was trying to make it lying. My parents said to say